Okay.
Naza, can you see hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
So we are currently live streaming. Marcia, I don't know if you can share this with your friends, anyone that is interested in joining. So I will share the link shortly, the YouTube link to you right now, because we're currently live streaming. So this Zoom is only for those that registered. It's for a small circle. Those that registered, we're going to make it very special. Why those that did not register or you make use of the YouTube link? Do you understand? So I don't know. I'm going to share the link here on the chat. So what you just do is for you to, if you have any friends that has the same what they call it, have the same expectations like you, wants to have the same dreams like you can also invite them. Oh, come and join me in this webinar. Come and hear what I want to hear. Do you understand? So I'm going to share the link with you. Is that fine, Marcia?
That's fine.
Okay, thank you so much. You're the best audience I can ever have. Thank you so much.
Fine.
No.
Listen, it's nice seeing you.
Same here. Unfortunately, they took our lights this night.
That's fine.
So Marcia, I've sent the link. Please do the word, do the spreading, do the reach out. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we have Melissa here. We have Kathy here.
Melissa is here to say hello.
Okay. Hi, Melissa. Your mic is muted.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. How is everybody?
Fine. We're doing great.
Thank you. Forgive me. I just got off the plane. So I flew halfway across country. So logging in. But hi.
No problem. Thank you so much. I really appreciate.
Yeah, please let Melissa introduce herself and also welcome people because she'll be going out soon. So let allow her welcome people and also mic over to you, Melissa.
Well, I'm Melissa Perkins. I am based here in the United States of America. And I also live in Lagos, Nigeria too. So I have two worlds that I navigate, so definitely am such a fan of beautiful Lagos, Nigeria. I really discovered that country through Gozi. Gozi and I have been business partners for some years, and he has always had a passion for real estate. So when I first met him, he was just consulting, freelance consulting. But then he took the leap to start his own business, GZ Realty, because he wanted to specialize in really helping diasporans in a smaller portfolio cultivate multiple property ownerships in Nigeria. And so he asked me to come on as managing partner because I bring a lot of connections and business acumen to the table, and kind of helped him to start really conceptualizing and putting together his genius. I mean, this is his baby. And he wrote Reclaiming Home, a guide to real estate for the African diaspora, which I think is a powerful book. A pioneer in the world of real estate in terms of helping people from our background really cultivate portfolios, not just do a quick real estate buy here, but to actually start to think about wealth building and building a legacy for your future generations. So whether it's private property that you know buy a house, or you buy land that is actually banking, which means it's increasing in property value, or whether you are the type of person who wants to really get into the commercial side, particularly agribusiness. Gozi has really developed a great expertise around that. So I am here to be a support. I'm here to talk to diasporans specifically about some things they want to think about, because many of our VIPs, they purchase before they actually come, because it's not very easy to just hop on a plane like I just did and go over to Lagos. And so how we work is we really do a lot of great surveillance for our clients. We are trusted. And so we deal in trust, because real estate honestly is for the brave. You really need to be brave to invest in real estate. And so the reason why Gozi is so successful and has been able to, for the past 2 years, cultivate an amazing referral client base. That means people are referring him constantly to their friends. It's because he's trustworthy. When they do travel to Lagos, they see their property, they have their deeds, they know that they're being taken care of and handled well. So that's who I am. This is not my only gig, which is why I'm flying all over the place, because it's not the only thing that I do. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about real estate. And so when it comes to real estate, this is my passion. My only gig in real estate is this. I can't mess with anybody else because they're not Gozi. They don't know what they're doing. So I only mess with Nigerians.
I think she's breaking. Is Melissa in Nigeria?
No, she's not in Nigeria.
On a whole nother to you, Miss Ella, or y'all are the best at it. Y'all take it. Look, they're real. When they do real estate and sell real estate, they reward people with trips to Qatar and Egypt, and like they really treat people who do real estate very well there. Whereas here, you're just looking at if you get your commission. So I tell Americans.
Melissa, you're kind of breaking. I'm thinking Nigeria is Nigerian if she's in Nigeria.
Need to quit now. I warned Gozi that I just arrived at my friend's home and I don't have the password. So I'm here before she's here. So I don't have the password. So I'm using mobile. Like a Nigerian. I'm using mobile. I'm using data. So this is what American data is like. So you're not alone. American data stinks. Okay? It's not just Nigeria. Data is horrible. You don't want to do Zoom calls on data. So apologies, but I don't have the password. So you have to just take me all broke up, old fashioned, relating to the people.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my amazing business partner. I really appreciate you coming to introduce yourself and actually introduce me. That's an amazing section from Melissa Parkin. I really appreciate. Mike, over to you, CEO. Then let's start from there. Is it time for us to start?
We can start since we have a full house already. So we've gotten to know one of our participants already. So I noticed that 3 more people joined the call. So let's just kind of introduce ourselves. This is going to be an interactive section. So what I want on the chat is your name, the country you're from, and what you hope to get from this webinar. So let's just do that for like 2 minutes before 9 o'clock. Your name, the country you're from, and then what you hope from this webinar. Marcia has shared hers with us on the call. If you want to do that, if you want to go off mic and share yours, that's fine. But you can also send a chat as well. So we look forward to Colin, JG, Katian, nice to meet you again. It's nice to see you here.
It's nice to meet you, Kati.
Okay. So please, Colin, JG, please, your name. Okay, Kati, please come on, Mike. You wanted to say something.
No, I seem good evening. It's nice to see you all again as well.
Yes, good evening. So just kindly tell people where you are watching from and what you expect from this webinar.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Ann from Barbados, and I am on the webinar because I'm here to see what Nigeria has to bring to us all and what we can learn from Nigeria in terms of building wealth and legacy as well.
Wow.
Great. Thank you so much, Katian. Colin, would you like to come off mic?
Hi, good evening. My name is Colleen, and I am originally from Barbados, but I reside in Boston. And I
Okay.
was
Wow.
invited by my friend Kathy Ann.
Okay.
Wow, amazing.
Wow. Thank you so much, Katian. Thank you so much, Colin, for being on the call. And so what's your expectation for this webinar?
I'm here to find out, like what Kathy Ann said, what's going on in Nigeria and around the world to see how I can better position myself
Okay.
moving forward as the world things change.
Yeah.
It is very important that we try to position ourselves with the changes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Colin. So JG. Okay, that's John. Okay.
That's John. Yeah.
Okay. John, it's nice to meet you again.
Nice
Please
seeing you,
just share
John.
with our audience where you're calling from, your name, and then what you expect from this webinar. Thank you so much.
Are you sure he's available? I don't think he'll be available, but he's
Okay.
listening.
Sent a message.
Okay.
He just dropped it.
Okay, just drop the message. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go through the chats.
Nice to see you.
Okay, nice to see you all. That's from John. Okay, that's great. So thank you everyone for joining this webinar. This webinar promised to be an awesome one. As you see, we started off with a good start. We have Melissa coming to tell us all about our experience with Nigerians and about our experience with GZ. You understand? So on behalf of GZ Development Limited, it's my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to today's webinar. First of all, thank you for making the decision to invest your time. You understand? You know, I know everyone has value for their time. They want to use their time to do so many things. And this is Sunday. This is the time for you to rest, spend time with your family. But you took out your time to come be with us here. We appreciate. Everyone from GZ Reach and Development appreciate your time and presence here. Time is one of our greatest assets, and the fact that you have chosen to spend this moment with us tells me that you are intentional about your future. Today's webinar is not just about buying land or investing in property. It's about changing the way we think about wealth. It's about moving from temporary financial support to lasting financial ownership. It's about building assets, creating security, and leaving a legacy. So many hardworking Africans in the diaspora have faithfully supported their family for years. I know most of us, we have people that we send funds to, like, oh, I need something for this, oh, I need to do this, I need to pay my school fees, I need to do that, and that's a very wonderful thing. I don't know how many of us have this fulfillment when we help our loved ones. How many of us here have this fulfillment when we help our loved ones? Let's just wave our hand. You leave an emoji. How many of us have this fulfillment when we help our loved ones? Loved ones, not only loved ones, maybe any this thing, friends, family, colleagues. How many of us have that fulfillment? Okay, so there's this fulfillment where you help your loved one. You understand? There's this joy you get to help someone you care about. But that doesn't just only stop there. You understand? That doesn't only just stop there. Many hardworking Africans in diaspora have faithfully supported their family for years. But today we're asking one important question. What do you truly own? What do you truly own? You just imagine you are, how will I put it? You're sending money into an account. you're sending money to an account. Let me not put it on an account. There's something they call income and there's something they call expense. So when you look at your track sheet, you see your income and you see your expense. Notice that your expense is more higher than your income. You understand? But the way for you to be able to be financially free, whereby when you spend more, you don't feel it, is when you have a lot of income. Your income is more than your expense. You understand? So this is what we are about to tell you now. Yes, it's a wonderful thing. It's a fulfilling thing to do, to send money to your family. And also, it's also a fulfilling thing to have your own true assets, whereby you can have more than enough to also help those family, more than enough to even set them up. Whenever you're not around, whenever maybe if you leave this world, there's something for them to fall back to. Do you understand? So that's why this webinar is here. So that single question has the power to transform the way we think about financial future. So tonight, we are here to help you begin the ownership shift. Before we begin, I'd like to share a housekeeping guidelines. So let's keep our microphone muted throughout the presentation. We encourage you to turn on your camera if comfortable. If you are here and you are comfortably okay to turn on your camera, please do so. It makes this section more engaging. Please use the chat section to introduce yourself and ask questions. We have a dedicated question and answer session toward the end, so feel free to type your questions as we go along. So most importantly, please stay until the very end. That is where the valuable insight, you will not miss that. That's the particular part where you get the valuable insight. You might say that, let me just leave it. No, just stay to the very end. I promise everything will be juicy. Everything we've prepared for you is going to be juicy. So enough further ado, I'm here to also welcome our speaker, the founder of GZ Realty and Development, Mr. Chiagozie Peter Osonwa, to come and speak with us. Let's leave any emoji of clap, or any love, any blow. Let's just do that. Let's leave an emoji. Let's do that.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ella. I really appreciate you. I want to say thank you so much to everyone. I want to say shout out to my managing partner, Melissa Perkins. I want to say thank you for anchoring the first segment. I want to say shout out to Kathy. Me and Kathy have been talking. I want to say shout out to John. Thank you so much for coming. He told me he was busy, but I'm surprised he's joining us today, right? I want to say shout out to everyone. I want to say shout out to my team, one of my team member, Blessing. Thank you so much for actually joining and us, right? So thank you. So we are going to kickstart this presentation. So Naza, can we go to the slide one?
Okay.
That's the ownership shift. Right.
Okay, let me share the slide.
Yeah, please share this slide. When the slide is up, please alert me.
Okay,
but,
I will.
Let me go ahead while the slide is coming up, right? Okay. So good evening or good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Gozie Osonwa. I'm Gozie Osonwa. I'm the founder of GZ Realty, and I'm very proud to be here to actually present and actually tell you an information which they call, in my place they call it updates, right? They call it update. You know, when you get information, you use that information to do better, right? So that's what I'm going to give you today. So let's begin. Let us begin with something many diaspora family understand very well, supporting the people we love, right? Many people living abroad regularly send money home to help their parents, siblings, or extended family. So this is an example of many people, right? Staying abroad, it may be that you are in another country and you're working to actually send money back home, right? So this is what we are talking about, right? The money may be used for school fees, medical bills, rent, food, repairs, or emergency. That support is valuable, and this webinar is not asking anyone to stop helping their family. The important point is that support and ownership are not the same thing. Money sent to solve an immediate need is often spent quickly. It helps today, but once it's used, it's gone. An asset is different. An asset is something valuable that you own. It could be land, a house, a rental property, or a productive farm land. Emphasis of productive farmland. Sorry about the light. I think they are working on it. So it can remain with you after the immediate problem has passed. In some cases, it may grow in value, provide income, or be passed to your children. So this valuable asset can remain with you till you grow old, and it can also be passed to your children, that's your generation. So wealth is not only about how much money you earn, it is also about what you keep, what you own, what you control, and what can continue to support you when your regular income slows down. So sometimes we have that point where our regular income may slow down. So we are here to give you info on how to stay strong, right? So think about it this way. Sending money every month can support the household for a period, but owning a properly verified asset can strengthen a family's financial position for many years. The ownership shift is not about choosing between your family and your future. It is about creating room for both. Let me ask you a quick question. If you calculated all the money you have sent home over the last 5 years, how much of it can you still point to as something you own today? Let that question sit in. I repeat the question again. If you calculated all the money you have sent home over the last 5 years, how much of it can you still point to as something you own today? So let's begin. Sending money without building assets can be compared to buying food every day without planting anything. The food solves today's hunger, but planting creates the possibility of future supply. Now that we are understanding the difference between helping today and building for tomorrow, let us explore why so much diaspora money continues to flow home. Slide 2. Why diaspora money keeps flowing home? Diaspora's transfers are not simple financial transactions. They are often connected to love, duty, culture, faith, and family expectation. Many people send money home because they genuinely want to care for their parents or help younger relatives. Others respond to emergencies such as hospital bill, burial expense, school fees, or unexpected repair. For some people, sending money is also a way to remain connected to home. Even when someone has lived abroad for many years, supporting family can help them feel that they are still part of what is happening back home. There can also be emotional pressure. Some people feel guilty because because they believe to be doing better abroad. Others feel that they must prove they are successful. They may worry about being judged if they say no. These feelings are real and they should be dismissed. They should not be dismissed. However, there's a financial problem when transfers continue year after year without a plan to build assets, right? This part is very explanatory. If you keep sending money back home or you keep sending money to loved one year after year without a proper plan, right? The money may solve today's problem, but may not change the reason the problem keeps returning. For example, if a family depends on monthly transfers for rent, food, and bills, the support may continue indefinitely. But if part of the same financial discipline is eventually directed towards a productive or income-generating asset, the family may gradually become more secure. Strong remittance inflow shows that Nigerians abroad remain deeply involved in the economy at home. This does not only happen in Nigeria, it happens in every other African country or every other African nation around the world, right? There are people that travel all over the world and they try to send money or back home for their families, for their friends, or for their loved one, right? So this is something that happened around the world, but we are using Nigeria as a case study. The question is no longer only how much are we sending home. It should also become how much of what we send is helping us build something permanently. Have you ever sent money for one emergency only for another request to appear a few weeks later? This happens to everyone. You send money home today, then 1 week later, there's another thing you need to do to send money home again, right? Even if you are not in another country, in your house, they know you're working a good job. You have sent money to repair something or to do something, another request comes up again for you to do that same thing again, right? So we are here for you. Repeated transfer without an asset plan can be like constantly filling a leaking bucket. You keep adding water, but because the leak has not been repaired, the bucket never stays full. Once we understand why the money keeps flowing, the next question is important. What does waiting to invest quietly cost us? Right? Slide 3, the cost of waiting. Many people may say, I will start next year. I need to earn more first. I will invest when the exchange rate improves. I will wait until I feel completely ready. These statements sound reasonable, but delay can be expensive. One reason is inflation. Inflation simply means the price rise over time. So the same amount of money buys fewer things than before. For example, if a plot of land costs 5 million, or let's say it costs $3,000 today, and price rises, that same plot may cost much more next year. Even when the inflation rate begins to reduce, price do not usually return to where they were. They may simply rise more slowly. This means that waiting may reduce your buying power. There's also currency risk. A person may be saving in pounds, dollar, or Canadian dollar and feel financially secure. But when it's finally time to buy in Nigeria, changes in exchange rate, local prices, construction costs, and professional fees may affect how much the saving can actually purchase. In real estate, delay can also mean losing access to a particular location. An area that seems affordable today may attract roads, businesses, housing development, or other infrastructure. Once demand increases, price may rise beyond what some buyers can comfortably afford. Very deep. This does not mean you should rush into a purchase. It does not mean you should not rush into a purchase. Starting early does not mean buying blindly. It means beginning your research, setting a goal, preparing a budget, understanding the market before opportunities move further away. Think about the price of land or building material 5 years ago. Now compare it with today. What did waiting cost the people who kept postponing? So why I love this part is it's happened to everybody. It cut across board. So imagine your country where you are right now. What if 5 years ago you have bought that land that everybody is hyping about right now? I think you get what it means, right? So let's continue. Waiting for the perfect time can be like waiting for traffic to disappear completely before beginning a journey. You may wait forever. A better approach is to plan your route carefully and begin when you are prepared. This is one reason ownership matters. A good way of financial effort exposed to rising prices and delay. Slide 4. What assets do that income cannot? Income is the money you earn. right? Income is the cash flow you get either monthly or from a business profit. That's what income is. It may come from your salary, business, consulting work, or a professional service. An asset is something valuable that you own. That simple difference can change a family financial future. Income usually depends on your ability to keep working. If work stops because of retirement, illness, job loss, or a business challenge, income may reduce. A well-chosen asset can continue to hold value or provide benefits even when monthly earnings slows down. For example, property may increase in value over time, generate rental income, provide accommodation, serve as security for certain financial arrangements, or be passed to children and beneficiaries. This is why people often talk about net worth. Net worth is the value of what you own after subtracting what you owe. Someone can earn a high salary but still have a low net worth if most of the income is spent and very little is converted into assets. Another person may earn less but steady living and investment over time. The person may become financially strong. This is especially important for diaspora families because their life may involve more than one country and more than one currency. A properly verified home, plot of land, or productive farm can create continuity. It turns years of work into something that can remain in the family. Ask yourself, what do you currently own that could support you for your family? So this question is very simple. That's why I'm coming down to re-explain it again. If your income stopped for 6 months, what do you currently have or own that could support you or your family, right? Very deep question, but ask yourself that. Income is like water coming from a tap. An asset is like a strong tank. You know, tank saves life. The tank of water can save life in the whole house, right? So the tap is usually while it is running, but the tank keeps you something to rely on when the flow reduces. Among the different kind of assets available, real estate remains one of the easiest many families to understand. Let us compare it with other common places people keep or invest their money. Slide 5. Real estate versus other stores of value. Real estate is not always the fastest investment and is not automatically the best choice in every situation. However, it can be one of the most practical assets because it combines ownership with usefulness. Let us compare it with other options. Cash is easy to access, which makes it important for emergencies. But over time, inflation can reduce what that money is able to buy. Bonds may provide a more predictable return, but their performance depends on interest rates, inflation, market condition. Stock can grow strongly, but price moves up and down. They also require some knowledge, patience, and ability to handle market changes. Gold may help you preserve value, but it does not provide home, farmland, or rental accommodation. Agriculture can create value and income, but it usually requires proper management knowledge of the land, climate planning, and strong operation. Property is different because it can serve both a financial and practical purpose. A house can be lived in, rented out, used by family, sold later, or held for retirement. So this explanation, this is very explanatory. Everything about investment, both if you're doing bond, if you're doing stock, if you're doing crypto, anything in investment you're doing is hard. So you pick your hard. That's where I'll put it. But let's continue. Land may be developed, held for a future purpose, or used productively, depending on its title, location, planning rules, and sustainability. This does not mean every property is a good investment. The location, documentation, price, purpose, development plan all matters. The key lesson is that property can combine emotional meaning with financial purpose when it is selected carefully. Which matters more to you at this stage of your life? Easy access to money, regular income, long-term growth, or having something physical that your family can use? Your answer should influence the type of assets you choose. Different investments are like different tools in a toolbox. A hammer is useful, but it cannot do the job of a screwdriver. In the same way, one investment cannot meet every financial need. Even a strong asset can become a poor decision when the buying process is weak. That brings us to the common mistake diaspora investors make. Slide 6. Mistakes that destroy value. Many property losses do not happen only because the market is bad. They happen because the process was poor. One common mistake is depending entirely on a relative or a friend to handle a purchase. So this common mistake is everywhere. People that stays in diaspora or people that live in other country, they are ready to buy a property and they depend on their family or their friend to help them purchase the property without going through a company or a verified company that makes it legal and legit, right? So this happened because the process was poor. So one common mistake is depending entirely on a relative or friend to handle the purchase. Family members can be helpful, but they should not replace the independent legal and professional checks. Another mistake is trusting the seller simply because the person was recommended by someone familiar. A seller may appear honest, but the land title and ownership history still needs to be verified. Familiarity is not the same as legality. Emotional buying is another problem. Some people rush because they are afraid of missing out. Others buy because family members are pressuring them or because the opportunity appears cheap. A low price does not automatically mean good value. Poor documentation is also dangerous, right? Receipt alone may not prove proper ownership. Buyers should pay attention to the survey plan, deeds, title history, seller's identity, and required government documentation. Other risks include the same land being sold to more than one buyer, unclear boundaries, unresolved family ownership, government acquisition issues, or persons selling land do not legally control. The safest approach is simple. Safest way to get land in Nigeria or anywhere. Verify independently. Document every step. Use qualified professionals and never allow pressure to replace proper checks. Would you transfer a large amount of money to buy property in the country where you live without seeing any legal document? Probably not. So why would the standard be lower simply because the property is back home? Buying land without verification is like buying a car without checking whether the seller owns it or whether it has a serious legal problems. The car may look attractive, but appearance is not proof of ownership. Now that we understand the mistakes to avoid, let us look at how to build wealth with purpose rather than by accident. Wealth is built on purpose. Wealth building, slide 7. Wealth is built on purpose. Wealth building should begin with clear goals. Before buying anything, ask, what do you want this asset to achieve? The answer may be a home for your parents, a rental property, a retirement base, farmland, future development, or something to pass to your children. Once the purpose is clear, the next step is budgeting. Instead of waiting to invest, whatever happens to remain at the end of the month, you can decide that a fixed portion of your income will go towards asset building. You also need an emergency reserve. It is usually unwise to put every available amount into a property and then have no accessible money for urgent needs. This is where diversification becomes important. Diversification means not pulling all your financial resources in one place. For example, a family may own property, maintain some accessible saving, and also hold other investments. This can make the family more financially stable than relying on income source or one asset. Legacy planning is also important. Legacy planning means deciding how your assets should be protected and transferred to the people you choose. Estate planning may be included in a will, beneficiary arrangement, trust, or other legal structure, depending on personal circumstance and professional advice. Owning property without a clear succession plan can still lead to disagreement and conflict after the owner is gone. Very important. Very important. So intentional wealth is not only about buying, it's about planning, protecting, organizing, and transferring. What is the main purpose behind your desire to own a property? Is it security, income, retirement, family support, or legacy? Without a clear answer, it is easy to buy wrong things. Building wealth without a plan is like building a house without an architectural drawing. You may spend money, but the final result may not suit your needs. A good plan must also be protected by proper documentation. Let us simplify the main property documents buyer needs to understand. These are documents you need to understand that you need to have when you're buying a property in Nigeria. So slide 8. Understanding Nigerian property documents. Property document can sound complicated, especially to someone buying from abroad. Let's explain some of the key terms in simple language. A survey plan shows the location, size and boundaries of the piece of land, what land is being discussed. So that's the survey plan. So when you're buying the land in Nigeria, they will always give you a survey plan. Then a deed of assignment records the transfer of an interest in property from the seller to the buyer. That's okay, you have bought this land, and now that deed of assignment, it belongs to you, right? It's being documented by Nigerian law. You understand? In simple terms, it is one of the important documents that shows that the seller has transferred certificate of occupancy, commonly called CFO.
Please, can you come again from deed of assignment? Can you come again from deed of assignment? Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's go back to deed of assignment. A deed of assignment records the transfer of an interest in properties from the seller to the buyer. In simple terms, it is one of the important documents that shows that the seller has transferred their rights to you. So a deed of assignment is the seller has transferred the right to the land to you, right? It shows that your name is there, that you are the owner of a land, right? That's what a deed of assignment shows, right? So now we're going to move to the next document, which is the CFO. This document is very important too, very strong. It's the strongest in Nigeria. CFO document is very strong, and you'll see why I say this is the strongest. Commonly called a CFO is evidence of a recognized right to occupy and use land under the relevant legal framework. It is important to understand that the absence or presence of one document alone does not settle every property question. The complete history and status of the property must be checked. Right? So this is Nigeria, but for me, I prefer a deed of assignment than to a C of O. You know why? A C of O actually lasts for 100 years before you renew that C of O document. So imagine you getting a land, right? And you want it to be a legacy land that will be passed from generation to another generation. C of O will not really be the subtle or best type of document for you to have, right? But it's the strongest you get. And the reason why it's the strongest, the government put it that way so that people can re-register it again and again, right? So this is a whole topic on its own. I wish I could deliberate and talk more, because this alone is an argument, and I love it. This is one of my favorite topics, but it's an argument. But we need to continue. The next document is governance consent. May be required when certain interests in land are transferred from one person to another. Verification means confirming that the seller is truly the person. Survey details match the physical land. There are no serious conflict claims, and the property is not affected in legal or government restriction that makes the proposed purchase unsafe. So this is where GZ come in. We help to make sure that we have done the due diligence ourselves. So we don't give you property that will want to hurt you or want to hurt you in the future. If there are, most of my clients are here, right, and they will give you, they don't worry about those nitty-gritties, because we deal with companies also that are also verified by the government of Nigeria. So let's go ahead. This complete checks processes is called due diligence, and it's okay to take your due diligence too. Ask your question. We are here to always answer. Ask your question, and we don't get tired of answering your question. I don't get tired. For me, I see it as a sport. It makes me learn more. It makes me even want to know more. Yes, that's why I see it. So due diligence means doing all the necessary checks before committing your money. It's not just paperwork. It is one of the main ways buyers protect themselves from fraud, dispute, and avoidable losses. This stance makes this even more important for diaspora investors. Property buying should be treated as a structured verification process, not merely an act of trust. Before buying, you should be able to answer 4 questions. Who owns before buying? And that's what we are telling you. Who owns this land? Where exactly is it? What document supports the claims? What independent professional has verified it? So these are the questions you should ask me, right? So property documents are like the medical test result of a property. The building helps reveal issues you may not be able to see. Now that the legal bases are cleared, let us make the process practical. How can someone begin an ownership journey without feeling overwhelmed? Slide 9, practical roadmap to start. The first step is define the purpose of the purchase. Are you buying for retirement, rental income, family accommodation? My favorite spot in this investment thing. Development or future resale, right? These are the things you should ask yourself, right? What am I buying this property for? Am I buying for rental, retirement? Some people just buy properties for retirement, like they just want to buy it so that they can retire. And farming is one of that kind of property. It's not only for the retirement purpose, it can also be for continuous income and all those kind of things, right? So let's go ahead. Different goals require different type of properties. The second step is setting a realistic budget. Your budget should not cover only the advertised price. It may also need to include legal fee, survey costs, verification expenses, registration costs, agency or professional fee, development costs, maintenance, and possible tax or charges. These are the things we'll explain when you are ready to key into the project. The third step is research. Study the location. Ask about infrastructure, access road, security, development plan, demand, title, quality, and future use. First step is professional guidance. A qualified lawyer, registered surveyor, or a credible real estate advisor can help identify problems that an ordinary buyer may miss. This is where my company comes in, right? We become that credible real estate advisor. We look into those land. We make sure we check the documents, because I'm a very simple person. I don't want problems. I don't want problems. That's what has been keeping me safe. So the fifth step is to start at a level you can manage, right? Start from somewhere. You don't need to have the whole bulk of money or the big bulk of money. Start from somewhere. You'll be surprised. Starting small is not a failure. A proper verified plot that matches your budget may be wiser than a larger purchase that places you under unnecessary pressure. Property ownership is often built through consistency, careful step, but you should have enough clarity before you commit money. Which stage are you currently at? That's a good question. Which stage are you currently at? Are you still defining your goal, preparing your budget, researching location already for verification? Knowing your stage helps you choose the right step. An ownership journey is like climbing a staircase. You do not need to jump the ground floor to the top. You simply need to take the next safe step. This brings us to the final lesson. Ownership does not begin with a rush payment. It begins with an informed decision. And that is why we are always here teaching, educating before you make payments, right? We don't need your money. We need you to be educated, to be informed, and to learn. And that's why I wrote the book, Reclaim Home. It's actually on Amazon. You can actually search it. If you buy the book, you'll be able to read everything, both the documentation process, everything is on that book, right? So yeah, slide 10. One decision can change the family story. The main message of this webinar is not that sending money home is wrong. That's not the main message. Remittance help families survive difficult period. They pay fees, solve emergency, and provide support. But remittance may be incomplete if none of that financial discipline is ever converted into ownership. Many diaspora families may already develop the habit of sending money regularly. That same consistency can be used to build something lasting. The shift may begin by deciding that a portion of future support should also go towards land, housing, a productive asset, or another to several positive outcomes: greater financial security, less independent on future income, stronger family structure, improved transfer of wealth, and a clearer legacy for the next generation. The next step is not buying anything immediately. The next step is assessing your readiness, understanding your purpose, study the market, verify the opportunities, seek professional guidance, and make a decision that is legally sound and financially thoughtful. Supporting your family and building something of your own do not have to compete. They can become part of the ownership journey, can begin with the next serious conversation you choose to have. Before we close, ask yourself, what's one practical ownership decision I can begin working towards after this webinar, right? Let that question sink in. What is one practical ownership decision I can begin working towards after this webinar? It may be setting a budget, speaking with a lawyer, researching a location, arranging a consultant with us. A major journey does not begin when you arrive at the destination. It begins when you choose a direction and take the first informed step. Thank you for being part of this conversation. We will now take your question and help the documentation, due diligence, and being an informed ownership journey. So over to this CEO. What is the next agenda? Thank you for this amazing presentation. And if there's any question, please feel free to ask. I'm here. And like I said, we don't run away from questions. We are always here to answer all your questions and keep you informed. Thank you. Mike, over to you, Ella.
Thank you so much, Gozie. It was so insightful and mind-blowing. Yes, this is our question and answer segment. So if you have any question for us, you can send in a chat or you can come off mic and just ask us the question. What don't you understand, or what would you like to learn more? So any question, anyone, you can send in a chat. I'm sure everyone will agree that we have received practical information. We can immediately begin applying. So now let's hear
can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I just wanted to compliment you, Gozie. That was an incredible presentation. So informative. And I just wanted to, as we set up question and answers, just really share, this is a beautiful time for members of the diaspora, particularly, to realize that the world is our oyster, especially our homeland. And I think that, taking the time, I just want to applaud all of you for being here. One thing that Gozie said that was really powerful is so many expats, so many diasporans from the continent are sending money back home. They are the bank of their family in many ways. They are the emergency fund for their families. And this has been going on for generations. But it's time for us to start to imagine wealth building instead of being an emergency cash vault that depletes you and you end up not being able to have enough to do some of the things you want to do. Start planning, start financial planning. And I just really love that point in the presentation. So thank you all for coming and being, forerunners in your family, and keep spreading the word. I love how John, one of our amazing VIPs, comes and he brings people with him. He's like a messenger. He's out there on them streets telling people, hey, wake up, and we so appreciate you for that, John. But I want all of you to really see that what Gozie is talking about is something that is so important to our future as a people and to your families. And so I turn it over to you all for questions.
Any question? Should I call names?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, hi, my name is Patience Akberi Okechukwu. My friend John Gear asked for me to join to learn a bit more about what's going on, what you guys are doing in the diaspora in Nigeria. First of all, thank you for the presentation. It was beautifully done. My question, though, is about taxation. When you purchase, I know there are fees, there are taxations and annual fees that one has to consider. And what type of mechanisms are in place for people in diaspora to make sure that they are staying within the legal confines so that they can maintain their property and don't run the risk of losing their investment because of not meeting the requirements to maintain it?
I'll take a jump at this, Goosey, and then you come in with your expertise. So, Patience, are you located in the United States?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Are you located in the United States?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so the property tax structure in Nigeria is quite different than in the US because we have property taxes. And if you don't pay those property taxes, they put a tax lien on your home. So in Nigeria, your taxes and your fees are all up front, for the most part. Now, be some other stipulations, less, which is this is why a lot of people are rushing it because you're not in danger of losing your land because you don't pay taxes, which is something that we, as Americans are constantly faced. So that's just something I wanted to just, point out is that that's something that's so exciting to a lot of Americans in particular, because the other thing that happens, Goldie may not be aware of this, or Ella, but something that also happens is that you may be thinking that your taxes are going to be one way, and then hyper development starts to happen in your area, and it drives up your property tax. That happened to my parents. So when they first moved into their house back in the 70s, taxes were very reasonable and inexpensive. But since that time, their home has more than tripled in value because of all the development and all the more expensive homes being built around them, and that drives up the property tax structure. So so I would just say, in Nigeria, your taxes or your fees and things are assessed more upfront. So Gildy, can you please come in and just make sure that I'm giving the most comprehensive answer to our dear patient?
Yeah, thank you so much for that amazing question. I also want to say thank you to my managing partner for answering very well. It seems like my education is working on how to. Yeah, but anyway, like she said, the taxes on land are paid upfront. Do you understand? They're paid upfront. The thing is, there's a way it's being structured. There's a way it's being structured. We pay taxes on land, but not in some areas. There are some areas you pay tax, and there are some areas you don't pay tax at all, right? But at first, taxes are paid upfront in your first buy or in your first sale. You get then, especially when the land is in like a farmland or like all this land that are not it's still growing, it's not in a developing area, right? You don't pay taxes, right? But when you get to areas that are developed or that are developing or that are developed completely, government will come for their tax. They'll be like, because that area is like highbrow area, right? Those places you pay tax, right? And I think it's yearly they do that, and it's not very steep. It's not very steep. If I tell you the amount, you yourself will be shocked. It may be $1,000 to $500 yearly, right? So in those highbrow areas, but I am sure that that's not the area looking at. We are looking at farming, right? So you'll not be paying tax at all, but only in the first purchase, right? So I don't know if I've answered your question, Miss Patience.
So I understand, like with the first purchase, most of those things are taken care of, but there are things that's like, this is, like you said, is a farmland. So there's produce that is being grown and sold. And so there are fees and things related to that, as well as to the land, or, to be able to maintain your business. Because in essence, this is not just like a land you're buying to live on. This is a business, right? So from my understanding with some of the new policies in Nigeria, there are fees and things that business owners must maintain annually. So that's what I'm trying to get clarification.
Okay, because I think you did not get the question well. So she's saying that
no, I didn't
other
either.
fees.
I wasn't.
Is there other fees that it needs to pay apart from the tax in terms of like management fees? I don't know if you get
so you have. Yeah, so it's essentially like, because, okay, for instance, like as a business, because I have a business, right? So there's my personal taxes, there are business taxes, there are property taxes. if I have a business that has a physical property, those are all things that I need to consider. So that's what I'm trying to understand. So, when you're buying the property, there's a tax, right? Your purchase tax and all those things, and you pay all those things. The way it's structured, yes, I know it's different in Nigeria with the initial purchase. But again, because this is a business, this is not your personal home. So there are, with the way things are even structured, even with the amount of money you can receive in your account at a time in Nigeria, there's a tax for that, especially if it's related to business versus personal things. So that's what I'm saying. So like when somebody from the diaspora who is not there, who is not like attuned to all those things, like how do you all as an organization, because we're buying this property as you as being our agent, as a third party negotiating, like how do you help us maintain, stay within the things that we need to maintain our property, so we don't run the risk of losing the property because we're not doing the necessary things that we need to do, not just to maintain like just solely property tax, but all the things that are related to the business.
Okay, so now I get your question very, very well now. Okay. So is there do you want to add more question?
No, at some point we lost you.
I wasn't adding, I was losing you. Yeah.
Okay. So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, so I get your question now. So this is how I'll answer it. So first things first, let's say I'll talk about the farmland, right? The farm project we are working, right? When you're getting a farmland, right? We actually get this property from a company already, right? So now this company already pays tax on any money that is deposited in the account. Do you understand? Because there's a new law that involves that any money or any amount that the company gets, you must pay tax, right? This company also already done the nitty-gritty of what you are thinking, because it's like an estate. The land is like an estate. It's being covered by the company. Do you understand?
Okay.
So you are just buying a portion or a piece, whether it's 20 hectares, whether it's
we have lost you.
Hectares, you're buying a piece. I say there's no, you don't pay tax. It's because the company is already handling those tax situation already for you. Do you get?
Let me come in and add to it. So basically, that's why it's called remote farming, Patience, is because you're like farming within a co-op in a sense. You're coming in under an umbrella. And so that's what makes the whole situation so appealing. And of course, when we really dig into, like, there would need to be another call with you to really kind of go through the numbers, for that, because GOSI does have for certain properties the kind of business breakdown of it, because it's a business. So what we were talking about earlier was just properties in general, because this presentation is really looking at properties in general. But when you're looking at a business, you're looking at the fact that what we tend to do as a company is we work with companies. And that's so that you as a private individual don't have to go through all these little hurdles that are very challenging when you're not a Nigerian. Even Nigerians struggle with it because stuff changes all the time, right? And so it's really good to go within a company to do something, because you have that protection, you have that umbrella. That's why our clients are so happy, is that we try not to get them or do things with them where they have everything falling on them, where they have to go out and figure out everything themselves. Yeah, go ahead, Patience.
Yeah, so I understand that, but there's a saying, nothing goes for nothing. So I'm trying to understand, even if you're going to a company, there's a cost.
Yeah, hi, Patience. Let me come in here. I think they're also missing some things as well. So for example, you send money through GZ account, you understand? There's a bank charge. Do you understand?
Yes.
We are going to charge you a 0.5% of bank charge, because actually the bank will charge us for the fee. for the money that comes into our account. I get where you're going to. So those things, like all those charges, we're going to charge you. It's going to be stated in your receipt. It's going to be stated in your this thing that, oh, this is the percentage of what we'll be charging you based on the money that is coming into GC. Do you understand? That's the first charge fee you'll be payment you'll be making, extra payment you'll be making. And then when, like, for example, you buy a farmland, you understand? For example, you buy a farmland and the produce have been yielded already, and then the profit has been made. You understand? So let's say this is 100%. Let's say that the profit is 100%. So the people that are in charge, like the company that is the umbrella, the one that is the umbrella, will take 30% of the profit. Reasons means that from that 30%, they use it to sort out some things that you did not know or about, like in terms of the staffs, in terms of managing sort out some stuff in the farmland. You understand? That you don't necessarily need to know about, unless it is something beyond their control. We are being asked that, oh, this is beyond our control. We need to do this so that we can be able to do that. You understand? And then we on the other side, as the intermediary between you and that company, is going to get 5% of that. So at the end of the day, that 100% profit, you are going with 65% profit. Do you understand where I'm going to?
Yes, that's what I was trying to understand. So but you get what I'm saying, because it's not just, oh, you buy land. There are things that has to go. So like, what are those costs? So if you have your process, you have your profit, your net profit has what you're advertising and say, okay, this is what your profit is. Actually, the net after so has been taken out. But will we know what the actual? Will we ever know what the actual profit? So we can see, okay, yes, this is this. So this was what the actual profit is, and this was what was taken out. And is that something that is done annually, like, or is it, or just seasonal based on the season?
Okay, it depends on what farmland you are into. Like now for the palm kernel, it takes 4 years to mature. You understand?
Okay.
So we can't say that you are going to get a profit every year. You are going to get your profit after 4 years, and after that 4 years, every year you'll be getting your profit. Do you understand?
Okay, but
then
in that interim time though, within that 4 years, there's no fees. There's nothing that the owner in this co-op, as was described, is responsible for in that time. Is there a maintenance fee? Are there things that need to be paid within it, even though a profit is not being generated?
No, like I said, there's nothing that will be asked for from the owner. Do you understand? Or else it is something beyond control.
Got you.
Do you understand? Unless it's something beyond control, anything can happen. You understand? So unless it's something beyond control, but I bet you 80% we will not come to the owner and say, oh, this is this, because the money you initially paid has covered it all. But just 20% is because of maybe something happened beyond our control. Then the 20% come up. Okay.
Is it possible when the person is ready to purchase, you give an itemized document saying, okay, this from the payment, this was what for this went for this one for this, so they know what they are paying for.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's it.
That's a beautiful question. It was perfect. We're grateful for it. That's what I was saying, that this presentation wasn't really meant to get into the nitty-gritty of the farm. It was more of like a general one, kind of mentioning those things. But we would certainly never sell something without you having an informed decision and knowing what the upfront cost would be for you down the line. So this isn't like Gilby said at the beginning. This isn't really a sale.
Okay, and Patience. So before Melissa comes back, I wanted to say that there's always an agreement, you understand, which you're going to go through before making any purchase or doing anything. Do you understand? So you're going to go through it and say, oh, this is okay for me. Is this not okay? Then in that agreement, you will see the breakdown of how things will flow, the breakdown of things. Do you understand? Yeah. I think Melissa,
you're breaking. Melissa, you're breaking. Are you sure you're not in Nigeria?
I can't wait to get my Wi-Fi password for my friend. This is killing me. I'm supposed to be the anchor of the team. I'm sorry, am I still breaking? Am I still breaking?
No, we can hear
we
you
can hear
now.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, so sorry, but I was just celebrating patience because I love her mind, and that's the kind of mind of an investor. And also, you know, I was just saying that this presentation was more meant to be an overarching education.
Mhm.
When
Melissa is breaking again.
I'm so
Melissa,
proud
you're
of us
breaking again.
Nigerians. They did very well this time with our network.
Okay. Well, like I said, thank you guys for taking the time to
Melissa,
answer
you're
the
breaking
question.
again.
Yes, thank you so much, Patience. So before we all go to our before we end this meeting, I want to share a video. I want to share a video so you can see what we're talking about. So we're going to share two videos. One is going to be about the the palm kernel, and then the other video is going to be about the plantain village. So please sit down. If you have a popcorn, you can also watch with me. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and share this video. Just please tell me when you see my screen.
Not seeing your screen yet.
There's one design that everyone is using. Same layouts, same
You're not seeing the screen yet. You're not sharing it as well.
The oil.
I'm coming. I'm coming. Sorry. Hey, can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead to play it.
Has shaped global economies for over a century. In Nigeria, this industry once powered national revenue before crude oil took over. As global demand for palm oil continues to grow, one truth remains: rebuilding the industry begins not in the factories or the markets, but in the nursery. Palm City's nursery was created from scratch. Every seed and the entire system was chosen to set a standard. But why start an oil palm nursery from scratch? And what difference does it make for the future? One of the most important things starting an oil palm plantation is ensuring that your palm trees get good yields. And for you to get good yields, one of the very most important things is to choose the right planting material. And the right planting material starts with where the resources from. So at Palm City, we start our budget from scratch. Starting our budget from scratch, first of all, we have to source the right planting material, which is IF1 Tenera, sprouted nuts, iPhone. This sprouted nuts because higher yields than the average usage we find. It also has resistance to some diseases that are found here in West Africa, right? So this is the main reason we start our project from scratch. So traceability, quality, and all that is to ensure high. At Palm City, the nursery currently holds about 60,000 seedlings, enough to establish about 1,000 acres of plantation. But these are not ordinary seedlings. This is the Tenera, which is a hybrid species chosen for its great yield and oil quality. But then, why the Tenera? The success of your plantation lies on what plant out. Soya palm is not like other crops that you can pick the seed and plant. So if you do that, what will happen that there will be what we call segregation. Dura has is more or less kernel, less oil. While Spera is shellless and has oil, but you cannot access the oil. So that is the crossing between dollar and Spera that give you what we call tenera, which is the hybrid, that will give you 100% oil. Once seeds are chosen, survival depends on the soil, the foundation for decades of harvest. It must hold water, release nutrients, and sustain the roots. But how are these soil bags prepared for the journey ahead? Yes, the soil quality is very important. However, that alone cannot guarantee success of the nursery stage. It is essential that the seedlings are nurtured intensively for the success of the crops. We've seen cases in many nurseries where the slightest mistake or wrong strategy leads to massive loss, which affects the future of the plantation.
Okay, as you can see, land preparation as construction was done this morning. And at the moment, we are setting out layout for pre-nursery. We are having the dimensions. And you can also see geophysicists are trying to mark out the point for the ball. And then you can see their truck also do the ball. Everything is so fast at this moment.
Seedlings do not grow without water. Consistent water helps to even grow.
Ella, you're giving everybody the food juice. Can you go to the next video? This is very long. You're giving everybody the food juice.
A 200-meter deep borehole and a solar-powered pump. But how does the system actually go deep? And why is solar central to this choice?
This is our irrigation line. And this is one of the lines. We call this one drip tape. So they are perforated. So the perforation allows water to move like a fountain. It moves to the right, to the left. Ensuring that the whole each bag gets adequate water.
Security is a top priority for us, as these seedlings carry the future of an entire plantation. From trained guards to CCTV, solar floodlights and counter-terrorism unit, and more. Every measure is set to keep the nursery safe and operation smooth. From seed to seedling, every detail at Palm City's nursery is delivered. The soil, the water, the shade, the security, records, experienced farmers. Each part is a safeguard for the future. This is the first chapter of a plantation that will be here for decades to come. And the growth of this symbol inspires the revival of an industry once lost, and the assurance that Nigeria's oil palm story has been written again. This time, precision and purpose.
Okay. Wow. I hope we learned a lot. We learned a lot. Patient, what can you say about the video? What can you say? Hi, Patient, you see there? Hello? Okay, I think Gozi, you should go ahead. Gozi, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so like I said, Ella, you decided to give away the whole farm, but that was an amazing video, and you can, if you see the work being done on the farm, the reason I decided to pick that video to show is so you know that what we are doing is real. We don't try to cajole you or say come and do what is not real. What we are doing is real. Those are the work being going on for a long time, and the acres or hectares of land is much, right? Is very much. So palm tree is one of the best kind of farming that you can put your money into, right? And this palm tree takes 4 years, right? It takes 4 years for it to mature and before it start producing the return of investment, right? So those are the things, 4 years for it to mature. But I have a second opportunity for you, and I'll tell you the whole plan. Then we'll move to the numbers. So Naza, please show them the second video of the plantain plantation.
Buy land without a plan. Now, many investors purchase land and leave it for years, but imagine owning farmland that can give you annual income through planting plantation. We're inviting you to partake in this amazing offer with just 1 million naira initial deposit and secure an acre, and 2 million naira initial deposit. You can secure an hectare here in Plantain Village, and you can spread your payment over 3 to 6 months. At Plantain Village, we believe that your land should do more than just existing. Ready to own farmland that actually pays you. Send us a DM for more details. Turn up the volume for me.
Thank you for that amazing video. Can I continue, Naza?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, so yeah, so that other project is what we call the Plantain Village. So like I told you, the palm tree is 4 years before it starts fruiting, it starts giving you your ROI. Why the plantain is also 1 year, right? So now this is where the plan is. I always tell people, go for the 2, right? While you're waiting for the 4 years, to start seeing fruit, start getting your return of investment in the palm tree, you can also go for the plantain plantation, which you will be getting your return of investment every 1 year, right? So, and the next planting season for the plantain will be August 8th, right? So now let's go to the numbers. This is where you get your paper ready, because I'm going to the numbers on what's the nitty-gritty, that's the number itself. So now for the palm tree, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
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 Okay. So for the palm tree, these are the numbers, right? To get him for the palm tree, the palm tree is going for $4,020, right? That's for the palm tree. Now I'll be talking in dollars, right? Because I know we have a lot of Americans and foreign diasporans here. So $4,020 for the palm tree. That's for 1 acre, right? So there are 2 types of size. There's 1 acre and there's 1 hectare. 1 acre is 6 plots. Do you understand? 1 acre is 6 plots of land, right? And the 6 plot is around 3,000 square meter, right? For 1 acre, 3,000 square meter, right? Sometimes it's 3,500, depending on the company, right? Sometimes 3,500, but the main size is 3,000 square meter. Then and that 3,000 square meter for the 1 acre is going for $4,020, right? So the profit, what is the profit 1 acre can give you, right? Minimum 1 acre profit. There's profit for 1 acre. It has minimum and it has maximum. You understand? So the minimum profit for 1 acre for for palm tree, the minimum profit is $3,654. That's minimum for the 1 acre. So it means that if you get 1 acre of palm tree, you profit you get minimum. That's if it's maybe it's a bad season and we are not able to make much sales in the palm tree, minimum you'll be getting in palm tree is 3,654 for 1 acre. Why the maximum? The amount you get during peak season, during this peak season will be $5,847. every year. So this is the minimum for the 1 acre. So now I'm going to move to the 1 hectare. 1 hectare consists of consists of 6 plots, right? Sorry, it consists of 12 plots. 12 plots because 1 hectare is double of 1 acre, so it consists of 12 plots. Do you get? So, and that is around 6,000 square meter. Sometimes it's close to 7,000 square meter, depending. So it's around 6,000 square meter or 7,000 square meter for 1 hectare. So profit margin for 1 hectare for palm tree is 7,310. This is the minimum amount you get when you get 1 hectare of palm tree, $7,310 every year is what you get for 1 hectare. Minimum. The maximum, what you get maximum for 1 hectare of palm tree, this is palm tree, not plantain, palm tree, is $13,158, right? This is all in dollars, not in naira, but in dollars. I've calculated it in dollars. So maximum you get $13,158 in 1 hectare. Remember that I said 1 hectare is the size of 1 hectare is 6,000 square meter or 7,000 square meter, right? While an acre is 3,000 square meter or 3.5 square meter, 3,500 square meter. So that is the concept for palm trees. Then now let me punch a number. Let me paint a picture for you. So let's say, for example, you decided to go for 20 hectares. And my advice will always be, since you decide to go for 20 hectares, you can actually divide it 10 for the palm tree, then 10 for the plantain. So why we divide it that way is because that's while you are waiting for the palm tree to fruit after 4 years, the plantain can actually give you an ROI every year. You understand? So it supports your income while you wait for the palm tree to start fruiting. Do you get? And now when both of them are giving you income, you are making a lot of ROI as an investor. And that's where I love helping my clients so much. So now let me give you the numbers for the plantain. I'm just running through all the numbers, then you ask your question after running through the numbers, right? So for the plantain, the numbers for the plantain, right? So like I said, 1 acre for the plantain is in dollars is $2,558 for the plantain, $2,558 for 1 acre. Remember I said one acre size is 3,000 square meter. Sometimes it is 3,500 square meter. Do you understand? Sometimes it is 3,500 square meter. Do you get? The minimum profit you get for the 1 acre for the plantain is $730. The minimum profit you get for plantain, $730. Then the maximum profit you get for the plantain for the 1 acre is $2,923 for the maximum for the 1 acre, right? So now for the 1 hectare, remember I said 1 hectare is 6,000 square meter. For 1 hectare, 6,000 square meter. And the amount to get the 1 hectare is $6,323 for the 1 hectare, $6,323. Then minimum profits you get for 1 hectare in the plantain village is $2,193. That's minimum profit for the plantain village. While the maximum profit for the plantain village is Yeah, why the maximum profit is, I can see that NASA has already written down the numbers already, but I've calculated the numbers on my own with my own calculation. So, but it's still almost the same thing. So why the maximum profit you get in 1 hectare for the plantain village is $5,847. $5,847 for the plantation. So now like I said, if you are going to be putting 10 hectares in the planting, right? So the profit for 10 hectares you'll be getting minimum, right? Minimum profit for 10 hectares is going for $29,236. That's for 10 hectares minimum profits you'll be getting for the planting. Why maximum profits you $5,789 maximum profit for the planting. And for the planting, remember I told you it is every year. You make profit every year. Planting does not take time to grow. And plantain is one of the best seller in Nigeria. Like me, my favorite food is plantain. I can eat plantain all day, right? So plantain it takes 1 year to grow. So these are the numbers, and I have questions before we close out. I think we have spent too much time, right? So NASA, mic over to you. Open to questions.
Okay, thank you so much. So what was projected? Please note that what was projected, if you notice on the date, that was the cost for it. So like we said, real estate, because of the dollar exchange, we can't say this is the fixed price. Do you understand? So what was projected, that was on the 9th of this month. And now on the 26th of this month, this is what it is now. You understand? So it fluctuates, and then it, well, how will I put it? So it's not fixed for dollar rate, it's not fixed. So it fluctuates. So you might come tomorrow, you might say, oh, we said this, but why are you saying that? Because dollar rate is not fixed. So is there any question? Anybody that would like to ask any question? And then so we can round off for today's section.
Good afternoon again.
Yes, good
afternoon. I love
afternoon.
the presentation. Hello. The presentation was very informative as usual. And you had most 98% of the information there. Anything else, I guess, would be asked. But I would like to ask, you said something about planting and 10 hectares. I didn't, because your voice went away, so I didn't get the cost of the 10 hectares.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, let me give you the cost for the 10 hectares. That's for the planting, right? Hold on.
Yes.
So the cost for the 10 hectares for the planting in dollars is $62,865. And remember,
because we've lost you. Remember,
we have a payment plan. Just in case, okay, you want to go for this, you can always negotiate. See, you can always work with us. We negotiate, we sit in the round table, we negotiate, we see what we can do, right? So that's what we are here for. Remember, there's always payment plan. We have 3-month payment plan. In some cases, we have 6 months. In some cases, there's 12 months, right? But that's a rare case. But the highest we can go is 6 months. Do you understand? So that's what I can say. Katia, I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you have. I would like to ask though, I think you all touch on it, but would you all be doing a part 2 in terms of the process? I saw you did the theory, but in terms of the process for persons who are not from Nigeria, and what yes, go ahead.
Okay, so in terms of the process, that's a one-on-one call, right? Because the process is very easy. You think it's complicated, but it's not complicated, right? One of the processes I'll let you know is all your documentation, the land title, everything will be sent to your email, right? You get all your documentation first to your email. Then we, the company, we hold your physical copy. Then when you decide to come over to Nigeria, we hand over your physical copy to you, right? This has been done several times, right? So we hand over your physical copy to you, right? But if you're not able to come to Nigeria, we can also forward, you can also send it in an express, or maybe if I have a friend that is going to your area, I put your physical copy in a folder and send it over to you, right? So that's the way we do our thing here. Is that okay for you, Patty?
Thank you. I was just asking for persons who were online and did not hear you before, just to give them a little insight. But I guess all information will be sent by DM. Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes. So I see patient is on mic.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Do you have any question?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can.
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, because before
Yes, we can hear you.
I was answering something. You were asking about the video, and it didn't seem you could hear me. Okay, but anyway, I didn't get the initial investment cost for the palm oil for 1 hectare.
Okay.
For 1 hectare, right?
I think what we'll do, okay, because you can call it, but we'll send it out. We'll send it out again. We'll send the breakdown and everything so that
we'll send it out.
Easy, in case you forget. But Gozi, call it out. Thank you.
So for 1 hectare, remember I said 1 hectare is 6,000 square meter. That's the size, right? But to get in on the 1 hectares, the dollar amount is $10,051. You understand? $10,051. So down the profits, minimum profits, what you get, minimum profits from that 1 hectare is $7,310 every year after 4 years. You understand? Then the maximum profit, that's on peak season, on season where it's very hot and sweet, palm oil is going viral, then it's $13,158, right? Note that this amount changes because of the fluctuation of the dollar rate. Do you understand? So, but when you are about to purchase, we have a contingency for you. We give you a good rate, right? So it could be favorable to you. So that's what I can say.
Okay, and you said this one, both the palm oil and the plantain can be paid in installments.
Yeah, it can be paid in installments, right? You can decide to go for 3 months, you can decide to go for 6 months, but 12 months is not advisable, but we do 3 months and 6 months. Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess the planting will begin once full payment is received.
Yeah. Planting begins. The truth is, planting is not about whether you complete your payment. While you're paying, planting has started. It's just that your documentation will not be complete till you complete all payments.
Okay.
Yes.
So then, does your 4 years start then after your completion?
No. Your 4. Like I told you, planting has already started. Do you understand? So while you are making your payments, it means your 4 years have started already. Immediately make a deposit.
Got you.
You understand?
Okay.
So it's not about whether you finished in 3 months or maybe you finish in 6 months. It's not about that. The fact that you have made a deposit already shows you are interested and you're able to keep your word within the time limit you are.
Okay.
I've lost you. We lost you. Please move back a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Right,
yes, but I think because you're saying that it's once you put your deposit, your 4 years starts at that time, but you don't get ownership until you don't get the full ownership, receive the ownership documents until full payment is received.
Completed. Yes, sir.
And that's for both investment opportunities.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Okay, understood. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Ella, mic over to you. Any more questions? This has been an amazing room, an amazing meeting.
Yes. So I think we'll have to close today's webinar. It was such an amazing and educative webinar. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Patient. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Colin. Thank you so much, Kathy, for staying on the call to this very end. It shows that you really want to know what real estate is about here in Nigeria. You really want to learn. You really want to be educated. And I respect you for that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the founder. Thank you so much to Blessing. Thank you so much, everyone. So we see you next month, because we do this every month. So we see you next month for another educative session. And please make sure once we reach out to you for the next month edition, please make sure you share to your friends, family, whoever that is interested, that you know that wants to make an ownership shift. You understand? Thank you so much, and good night over here, good morning over here, good evening. Bye, everyone.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Goodbye. Good evening, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I remember to reach out if you have any question, right?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.